There are some common mistakes a lot of organizations are making on social media. Now, whether you're a nonprofit or a charity, like a lot of the organizations I work with, or government, or an impact based business, or even just a solopreneur, a lot of these same things are going to apply to you. Even if you're in a corporate but you're fairly new to the social media world, there is a good chance some of these factors are going to be affecting how successful your social media is for your organization. So let's just quickly touch on some of the most common ones. The first is, do you actually know what the story is that you're telling on that particular social media channel? Now, I look at social media like Netflix series. It needs to be something that flows from post to post, from day to day, and it might have lots of different stories and lots of different threads at once, but it is ultimately telling you one big story. It's going somewhere. And common problem is we're posting content, but we're not telling stories. Something to think about. Have a look at your social content, maybe go back even just the last 30 days and go, what is this content telling? What is the story? What's it saying about our brand? If I was seeing this brand for the very first time, what are some of the key takeaways I would take from this content that I've just been looking at? It's a really great way to get a fresh perspective on what you're doing on social media. Another common mistake is, do you know your brand voice? There's too many defaults. One is that we go for this, we've got to be really professional and really corporate, and we kind of go in that space, or we go the other way and we just don't even think about what our brand's voice is. And it just defaults to the voice of whoever's creating the social media content. It might be the same person all the time, or it could be 10 different people, and you're confusing your audience about who you are and what your brand stands for. So take some time to think about what your social media voice is and whether you're clear on that. Um, how would somebody else describe your brand? So if they came and looked at your stuff for the first time, what are the key messages they're seeing? Are they going to describe you as fun and bright and colorful, or dark, or serious, or for kids? You know, what are the key takeaways? And sometimes it's the visual elements of what we're sharing that give these unspoken messages that sometimes we need to take some time to reflect on. The last thing we really need to know as well is, are we really clear on who our ideal audience is for our social media channel? It might be different on different channels, and that is totally okay. But if you don't know exactly the person you're trying to talk to with your videos, with your posts, with your images, the chances are you're really trying to talk to everyone. And while that sounds like a really good idea and like your best chance to get to the most people, it actually just means you don't really connect with anyone, because your message doesn't feel that relevant. It doesn't really connect with their problem. People get a little bit lost, and you, chances are when you post, it's just going to be crickets. You're not going to get a lot of return because there's not a lot of significance to what you're doing. So there's some of the common mistakes I see people making on social media right now. Go to the checklist yourself and see if you're making any of them. Hope you aren't.